Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today, we're going to be looking at ARRY Technologies,
Okay.
ticker symbol ARRY,
Mm-hmm.
a company specializing in solar tracker technology.
Right.
Now, this stock has been a bit of a roller coaster lately,
It had.
leaving a lot of investors wondering,
Yeah.
hold or fold?
Well, that's a great question.
Yeah.
And to get to the answer, let's start by acknowledging the elephant in the room.
Okay.
ARRY Technologies has been experiencing some wild stock fluctuations.
Right.
You see a jump of 4.48%,
Right.
closing at $7.47
Mm-hmm.
on January 30th.
Right.
But then you remember its 52-week high was $16.22.
Yeah, that's
That's a pretty dramatic swing,
huge.
and it definitely raises some eyebrows.
It sure does.
Yeah.
So how do we make sense of this volatility? Is it just a case of market jitters?
Sure.
Or is there something
Safe
more
to say.
fundamental at play?
Yeah. Like with any investment,
Right.
there are multiple layers to consider.
Okay.
Let's
Make it real.
start with the positive.
All right. I like positive.
ARRY had a very strong 2023 financially.
Did.
They brought in a whopping
Okay.
$1,576.6 million in revenue
Nice.
with a net income of $85.5 million.
Wow.
They even hit a record adjusted EBITDA
Right.
of $288.1 million.
Yeah.
For those unfamiliar,
Mm-hmm.
adjusted EBITDA is essentially a measure of a company's operating profitability.
Got it. So,
Okay, so they're
they're clearly making money,
making money,
which is always a good sign.
which is a good sign for investors.
For investors.
But then why the stock price dip?
Yeah, that's the question.
What's going on
What's happening?
behind the scenes?
Right. Behind the curtain.
That's where things get interesting.
Okay.
There are a couple factors
All right.
contributing to the volatility.
Okay.
First, you have the inherent nature of the renewable energy sector, which is highly sensitive
Mm-hmm.
to government policies and global trends.
Sure.
And then you have some company-specific challenges
Okay.
that ARRY is working through.
All right. So it's like a double
It's like a double whammy.
whammy.
The sector itself is volatile.
Right.
And then ARRY has its own set of hurdles to overcome.
Right.
No wonder investors are scratching their heads.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
So, for instance, there's been some speculation about how upcoming elections could impact renewable energy policies.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Some analysts believe that a shift in political power could lead to either increased or decreased support for the industry, which would directly affect companies like ARRY.
Of course.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Government incentives.
Government incentives and regulations.
Regulations play a huge role.
In the renewable energy sector.
In the renewable energy sector.
So any changes on that front
Exactly.
could create a ripple effect.
Precisely. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Right.
We need to look at ARRY's performance beyond the political whispers.
Sure.
And here's where we encounter the first red flag.
Oh.
A significant decline in revenue
Not good.
in the past year.
Wait, hold on. You just said they had a record year in 2023.
Crucial point. While 2023 was strong,
And can they have declining revenue?
the last 12 months, as of the third quarter of 2024, paint a different picture.
Right.
We're talking about a 40% drop in revenue.
Whoa, 40%.
Yeah.
That's a
massive hit.
massive hit.
What's causing such a steep decline?
Yeah, what is going on?
That's the million-dollar question, and it's something investors are trying to figure out.
For sure.
ARRY themselves have reduced their 2024 revenue predictions by 30%, citing delays in fulfilling their existing orders.
Okay, so they're getting the orders,
No.
but they can't fulfill them.
This could be due to various factors.
Yeah, like the
From supply chain disruptions,
Right.
which have been a headache for many industries,
Sure.
to internal operational challenges that ARRY needs to address.
So there's a potential efficiency problem within ARRY, even as they're racking up these new orders.
Is one possible interpretation.
They're struggling to keep up with demand.
And it certainly raises concerns.
Is that what you're getting at?
If they're having trouble delivering on current projects,
Right.
it could affect their future prospects.
Right.
On the other hand,
Okay.
securing those new orders,
Mm-hmm.
even with the existing delays,
Right.
suggests that there's strong demand for
Right.
ARRY's products. So
It's a mixed bag then.
it's a mixed bag, right?
Right.
High demand, but potential bottlenecks in their operations.
Yeah.
That adds another layer of complexity.
This is getting complicated.
For investors trying to decide whether to hold or fold.
For sure.
Absolutely. And to
further complicate the picture,
further complicate it,
we need to consider ARRY's recent strategic moves. While grappling with these challenges, they've also been making...
So they're not just sitting around...
some interesting plays.
They're trying to make moves...
in the market.
Like what? Give us the inside scoop.
For starters, they're making a big push into the European market.
Interesting.
Which is booming in terms of solar energy adoption.
Okay.
They've also launched a new product called Skylink.
Skylink.
A wireless tracker system.
Okay.
That's actually powered by solar panels themselves.
Hold on. So their solar tracker is powered by solar power. They're using their own tech to run their tech.
It's a definite signal that they're committed to innovation.
That's pretty clever. And pushing the boundaries of solar technology.
Yeah.
And here's another intriguing move. They've invested $3 million in Swap Robotics.
Swap Robotics, what do they do?
They specialize in robotic solar farm maintenance.
Okay. So now we're talking.
This hints at a broader strategic direction for ARRY.
Robots.
They're looking towards automation and increased efficiency.
Okay.
Which could be a key to resolving those operational bottlenecks we discussed earlier.
Right. So they're trying to get more efficient with robots.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it seems like ARRY is trying to tackle these challenges head on.
It's definitely a positive sign.
Streamlining their processes.
They're not just sitting back.
Looking for innovative solutions.
And letting the challenges overwhelm them.
That's got to count for something, right?
They're actively seeking ways to improve and grow.
Yeah.
But the question remains, will these efforts be enough?
Yeah, is it going to be enough?
To counterbalance the revenue decline.
Right.
And other headwinds they're facing.
That's the big unknown. So how do we as investors...
It's a complex situation.
How do we start to make sense of all of this?
With no easy answers.
Where do we go from here?
But that's what makes investing so fascinating, isn't it?
Right.
It's about analyzing the information, weighing the risks and rewards, and ultimately making a decision based on your own assessment.
Based on what you think.
So,
so for our listeners who are holding ARRY or considering buying in, what are the key things?
That's a great question.
They should be thinking about.
And one we'll explore further.
How do they navigate this
in the next part?
Intricate web of information.
Our discussion. We'll delve into the key considerations for investing in ARRY technologies.
That sounds good.
Taking into account their strengths, weaknesses, and the broader market dynamics at play.
All right, looking forward to it.
Stay tuned.
We'll be right back.
All right, so let's get back to the big question surrounding ARRY technologies. Is it a hold or a fold?
The million-dollar question.
As we've discussed, there's a lot to unpack here.
There is. We've got a company with strong financials in 2023, but experiencing a revenue dip in the recent 12 months. Add to that the political uncertainties surrounding the renewable energy sector and ARRY's own operational challenges. It's a bit of a puzzle.
It is, and that's why a thoughtful approach is crucial for investors. It's tempting to get swept up in the hype or panic based on short-term market fluctuations, but smart investors focus on the fundamentals.
Okay, so where do we start with those fundamentals?
Well,
what are the crucial aspects listeners should consider before making any decisions?
So the first thing to remember is
about ARRY technologies
that any investment carries inherent risks. Especially in a dynamic sector like renewable energy. ARRY's recent performance demonstrates that perfectly. Even with a strong 2023, their stock price has been impacted.
So it's a good reminder
by various challenges.
That past performance isn't always indicative of future results. We can't just look at one good year.
You can't just assume.
And assume smooth sailing ahead.
Smooth sailing ahead.
No.
So when evaluating ARRY, ask yourself, am I comfortable with the potential for short-term volatility while betting on the long-term growth of solar energy? If you're risk-averse, ARRY might not be the right fit for you.
For someone who doesn't want...
At this moment.
On the flip side. For those who believe in the future of solar. and are willing to weather the storms.
That's a valid point.
This could be an opportunity
However,
to buy in at a potentially lower price.
It's crucial to dig deeper.
Sure, but you got to
do Array's financials.
Do your research right.
Beyond just revenue.
Yeah, you can't just...
We need to understand the reasons.
Look at the top line number.
Behind the decline.
You got to look at all the numbers.
And assess their operational efficiency.
Right.
Those delays in fulfilling orders...
Yeah, that's definitely absolutely.
A red flag.
They need
further investigation.
Don't just rely on headlines.
Right.
Or catchy stock tips.
Absolutely.
Do your own due diligence.
Do your own research.
Dive into the company's reports.
Yeah.
Read industry analyses. And get a solid grasp of their market position.
And speaking of the market...
All right, speaking of the market...
Let's circle back to the political landscape.
All right, so back to politics.
As we mentioned earlier...
Yeah, the political landscape...
Policy shifts...
can have a big impact.
Could significantly impact Array's prospects.
On this industry, for sure.
Right.
Increased government support.
Increased government support for renewable energy.
For renewable energy?
Would be a huge win for Array.
Would be huge.
But, on the other hand...
But any setbacks...
Any setbacks in that area...
In that area...
could have the opposite effect.
Could have the opposite effect, exactly.
So
keep an eye...
Keep an eye on policy developments.
On policy developments.
Both domestically and internationally.
Right.
Changes in energy policy.
Yeah, it's not...
Trade agreements.
It's happening here.
And even public sentiment towards renewable energy.
It's global.
Can all influence the sector's trajectory.
So it sounds like investing in Array Technologies requires more than just...
That's a fair assessment.
A passing interest in solar energy.
It's not a stock you buy on a whim.
It demands careful research.
You need to be informed.
A solid understanding of the industry's complexities.
Understand the risks.
And perhaps a bit of a gambler's spirit.
And have a clear investment strategy.
Yeah, no kidding.
And maybe most importantly...
Oh, you really...
need to believe in the future...
Gotta believe in it.
...of solar energy itself.
But let's go back to some of those recent developments.
Absolutely.
We touched upon earlier.
Yeah.
Array's expansion into Europe.
Yeah.
Their new Skylink technology. Their investment in robotics.
Right.
What do these moves tell us?
What do these moves tell us?
About the company's direction.
You hit the nail on the head.
It seems like they're trying to be proactive.
Expanding into Europe is a logical move.
Tackling those operational challenges head on.
Given the burgeoning demand for solar energy there?
While simultaneously seeking new avenues for growth and innovation.
And Skylink, with its use of solar panels...
Yeah, they're not...
to power the tracker system...
just sitting around...
demonstrates a commitment to technological advancement.
They're trying to make things happen.
And then there's the investment in Swap Robotics.
Right, and that...
which suggests that they're serious about automation?
Suggests they're serious
about...
and
boosting efficiency.
Getting more efficient.
It seems like Array is taking concrete steps...
using robots.
...to address those bottlenecks we discussed earlier.
Yes.
So these strategic moves indicate...
so they're thinking long-term.
But that Array is not just reacting to challenges.
They're not just looking at the next quarter.
But actively shaping its future.
They're looking at the next...
they're playing the long game.
5 to 10 years.
Betting on the continued growth...
it seems like it.
...of the solar market.
But the question remains...
while seeking ways to optimize their operations.
will it be enough?
That's the billion-dollar question.
Will they be able to overcome their current hurdles?
And unfortunately, we don't have a crystal ball.
And capitalize on the immense potential.
But what we can do is analyze...
of the solar energy market.
The information available.
Yeah, that's the big question, right?
Assess the company's strategic direction.
That's what everybody wants to know.
And consider how those factors align...
but nobody knows.
...with our own investment goals and risk tolerance.
Right. It all boils down to informed decision-making.
Exactly.
No guarantees.
Array Technologies is a compelling case study.
But a calculated approach can help mitigate risks.
Representative of both the opportunities...
and potentially lead to rewarding investments.
And challenges inherent in the renewable energy sector.
Yeah, it's not a sure thing.
It's a company operating...
what you can...
in a dynamic and rapidly evolving industry.
increase your chances of success.
One that demands constant adaptation and innovation.
If you do your research. So for our listeners out there who are holding ARRY or thinking about adding it to their portfolio...
right.
What's the bottom line?
That's the million-dollar question.
Hold, fold, or something in between.
There's no one-size-fits-all answer.
Right.
Every investor has different goals.
Right.
Risk tolerance and investment horizons.
That's true, but what advice would you give to somebody who's trying to make sense of all this information?
First,
what are the key takeaways they should consider?
Don't let short-term market swings dictate your decisions.
All right, so don't panic.
ARRY's stock price is going to be volatile.
Don't get scared, especially in the current market environment.
Right.
Instead, focus on the long-term potential of solar energy.
Right. Zoom out.
Exactly.
Look at the bigger picture.
Is this a sector you believe in?
Yeah, we believe in solar.
Does ARRY have the potential
long-term
to be a major player in the long run?
All right.
Second.
Okay, number 2.
Do your homework.
Due diligence.
Don't just rely on our conversation.
Right.
Or any single source of information.
Right, everything you can.
Read ARRY's financial reports.
Yeah, don't just
research their competitors.
You take our word for it.
And understand the broader industry trends.
Exactly. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to investing.
The more you understand the company,
the more you understand
the sector, the market dynamics at play,
the better equipped you'll be,
the better decisions you're going to make.
To make informed decisions.
Right.
Third.
Number 3.
Consider your own investment goals.
Okay.
And risk tolerance.
So what are you looking to get out of this?
Are you comfortable with a certain level of volatility?
How much risk are you willing to take?
Are you looking for short-term gains?
Yeah.
Or long-term growth?
Time horizon.
Your personal investment style should guide your decision-making process.
It's about finding the right fit.
Absolutely.
The investments that align with your individual circumstances and financial objectives.
There's no shame in deciding that a particular stock.
You don't have to buy every stock.
Even one with potential.
Just because we talk about it.
Isn't right for your portfolio at this time.
Exactly.
And finally.
All right, finally.
Remember that investing is a journey, not a destination.
I like that.
It's about continuously learning.
Yeah, it's a marathon.
Adapting and refining your strategies as the market evolves.
So true. And the best way to learn is by staying informed and engaged.
That's why we're here.
Keep up with the news, follow industry trends.
To help guide you through the complexities of the investing world.
And don't be afraid to ask questions.
We provide the insights, but ultimately the decisions are yours to make.
Well said. And speaking of decisions.
Yeah.
I think it's time for our listeners to weigh in.
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
What are your thoughts on ARRY Technologies?
On ARRY Technologies.
Do you think they'll rise to the challenge and become a solar powerhouse?
Or will those operational challenges and market headwinds hold them back?
Yeah, what do you think?
Head over to our website.
Head over to our website.
Or social media pages.
Let us know.
And let us know what you think.
And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to Investing Talk Podcast.
Yeah.
Share this episode with your fellow investors.
Just tell your friends.
We appreciate you tuning in.
Thanks for listening.
And we'll be back next time.
We'll be back.
With more in-depth analysis of companies and market trends.
With more.
Shaping the investing landscape.
Analysis.
Until then, stay curious.
Until then.
And happy investing.